AITA for liking my daughter's viral TikTok video rating me as a 1 out of 10 dad. I am 44 years old, and I work as a quality control supervisor in a manufacturing plant. I make a decent living, about $90,000 a year. I have been divorced from my ex-wife Denise for 6 years. Yes, she fits every stereotype you can imagine. Let me explain how I got here. Right out of high school, I started working at the factory on production lines. It was hot, dirty, and backbreaking work that most people cannot handle for more than a week. I spent my 20s working double shifts, going to night school to get my engineering degree, and sleeping 4 hours a night so I could build something better for my family. I climbed the ladder from basic labor to line supervisor up to my current position where I oversee quality standards for auto parts. It is not glamorous, but it pays the bills and then some. When my daughter Haley was little, her face would light up when I came home from work. I would walk in covered in oil and metal shavings, and she would run into my arms screaming, "Daddy is home." She would sit on my lap while I ate, asking me questions about my day, wanting to know everything about the big machines at the factory. On weekends, I sometimes took her with me when I had to stop by the plant. She wore my old safety glasses that were way too big for her head and pretended to inspect parts with me. Those were the good times. Denise and I divorced when Haley was 11. The divorce was a nightmare. Denise tried to take everything from me, claiming she deserved half my 401k because she had supported my career just by existing. She got the house, and I ended up paying $850 a month in child support plus covering Haley's car insurance, her phone plan, and practically everything else. Here is the truth about the first years after the divorce. Haley still chose to come to my place. Every weekend, she prepared her little bag and waited for one thing: coming to my apartment. We built forts with blankets. We had pancake contests at breakfast. We watched movies until well past bedtime. She helped me cook dinner, even if helping mostly meant making a mess and stealing ingredients. Growing up, she brought her homework to my place because she said I explained math better than her mother. But around age 14, everything started to change. Weekend visits became shorter. She spent more time on her phone and less time chatting with me. Instead of our usual movie nights, she wanted to go back to her mother's earlier because Jenna was having a sleepover or there was a party. I told myself it was normal adolescence. Kids gravitate toward the parent with the bigger house, the better neighborhood, and the right social connections. Here is the thing with Denise. She has always been obsessed with appearances. Designer bags and overpriced cars she cannot afford. Constant posts on Facebook about her perfect life. When she remarried this guy Shane 3 years ago, it was like she won the lottery in her head. Shane works in sales, drives a BMW he surely cannot manage to pay for, and they moved into a rental McMansion. And that is where Shane became a problem. This guy is a classic narcissist who saw Denise's child as competition for attention. From day one, he played at being the cool dad while subtly discrediting me. He would drop phrases to Haley like, "Your dad looks stressed about money right now," or, "If it were me, you would have everything you want." Little passive-aggressive digs to make me look like the bad guy. The worst part was that he took Haley aside during family gatherings to fill her head with his stories about real men who know how to manage their money. He told her anecdotes about his supposedly successful friends who never let their kids lack anything. Meanwhile, I was calculating every penny because I knew what things cost and what happens when you live beyond your means. What I learned later is that Shane was actually living on credit. His job paid only on commission selling luxury pools. After the economic downturn of 2023, rich people stopped building water parks in their backyards. His income went from $120,000 a year to maybe $30,000 in good months. The BMW was 3 months behind on the lease. The McMansion? He sublet it from someone who could not pay for it themselves anymore. Shane made up the difference with credit cards. Too proud to admit he is broke, he continues to play the great provider while Denise's income and my child support actually finance their lifestyle. And all this time, he was turning Haley against me. Haley, who is now 17, moved in with them full-time at 15. That day, my heart broke. Honestly, she invited me to Applebee's. Yes, Applebee's. As if our relationship was worth a mediocre dinner, she announced to me that she wanted to live with her mother and Shane full-time. She said it would be simpler for school and that she could focus better on cheerleading. But I understood immediately. The house with a pool, the game room, her friend's neighborhood. My two-room apartment suddenly looked like a consolation prize. The kid who begged me to teach her how to change oil in the garage was now too good to spend her weekends with her old dad. Today, I have her every other weekend, but she always finds an excuse. Cheerleading, shopping with friends, or simply, I don't feel like coming, Dad. Each cancellation is like one more nail in the coffin of what we had before. But here is what Haley has ignored since her birth. I put aside $300 every month for her studies. 17 years of giving up restaurant outings, keeping my old pickup for 8 years, and staying in my small apartment instead of more comfortable housing. Every month, without fail, even when work slowed down and overtime disappeared. Every Christmas bonus, every tax refund, everything went into this account. Nearly $90,000 was waiting for her future. I also bought her a 2020 Honda CR-V last year for her 16th birthday. An $18,500 car saved by working all possible overtime. 6 months of eating bologna sandwiches at lunch and giving up my Friday beers with colleagues. Her phone is on my family plan, $40 a month. Car insurance is $180 a month because apparently teen girls are considered accident magnets. I also send Denise $200 to $300 extra each month on top of the mandatory $850 in child support for Haley's expenses. Clothes, activities, whatever. Because despite Denise's arrogant attitude, I wanted my daughter to have nice things, even if I still drive a 2015 Ford F-150 while Haley posts Instagram stories from the passenger seat of luxury cars I could never afford. My brother Trevor keeps telling me that I am too generous, that I should let Denise and Shane deal with their own problems. But Haley is my only child, you understand? For years, I told myself that all these sacrifices would eventually serve a purpose. That one day, she would realize that her father worked himself to the bone to offer her opportunities he never had. That she would appreciate the man who chose overtime rather than sleep, who chose her future rather than his own comfort. Well, I was wrong. I should have seen the warning signs. Looking back, there were 3 incidents over the past year that showed me exactly how Haley was changing. But I ignored them because I was foolish enough to believe that being a good father meant being able to buy my daughter's respect. The restaurant incident. 8 months ago, I took Haley to dinner at a nice steakhouse. Not cheap, probably $120 for both of us. She obviously ordered the most expensive dish, plus an appetizer and a dessert. Fine, whatever, it was my weekend with her. Then, she started taking photos of her plate for Instagram, posing with her glass, the whole social media circus. When the dishes arrived, she took 3 bites and said she was full. I told her to take the rest to go since I just spent $45 for her meal. She exploded, saying that Shane would never make her feel bad for having wasted food, that for him money is not everything, and that I am too obsessed with expenses. My God, Dad, why do you always have to be so negative? Not everything revolves around money. Shane would never make me feel guilty. Haley, you take the leftovers to go or you pay yourself. And next time ask Shane to pay for your Instagram photo shoots. She huffed and grumbled, but she took the leftovers. What really made me angry was discovering later that Shane had coached her for this kind of thing. He told Haley that controlling men use money as a weapon and that she should never let me guilt trip her for normal teen stuff. This jerk was literally teaching my daughter to disrespect me while I paid for everything. The shopping crisis. 4 months ago, Haley sent me a text saying she needed money urgently for a school event, a winter formal. I sent $300 to Denise for a dress. A week later, Haley posted Instagram photos of the evening clearly wearing a designer dress worth over $500. When I asked Denise for explanations, she told me that Haley found the dress on sale but needed extra for shoes and accessories. Fine, I let it slide. But the following week, Haley called me crying, saying she had to return the dress because Denise could not afford to keep it. But Shane allegedly told her that if it were him, she could keep it and that I am too controlling with money. Dad, all my friends are keeping their prom dresses. Then all your friends can find a job and buy their own dress. Shane said you would say that. He says you use money to control people. If Shane has an opinion on my money, let him try to earn some himself. She hung up on me. The car ultimatum. 6 weeks before the TikTok disaster, Haley called me on a Sunday morning crying, saying she cannot drive the Honda anymore because all her friends have BMWs, Teslas, or Mercedes. She said she looks like a loser arriving at school in a Honda. I stayed silent for 10 good seconds trying to process this nonsense. It is a 2020 Honda with 18,000 miles, an $18,500 car that I bought with cash. But she continued telling me about Jenna, whose parents bought her a BMW 3 Series, Brooke who drives a Tesla Model 3, and even Tessa with a Mercedes C-Class. Dad, Shane said he would co-sign for a better car if you were not so controlling. Tell Shane that the day he starts paying car payments, he will have a say. You do not understand how embarrassing it is for me. You want a BMW? Find a job and buy it yourself. I heard they are hiring at McDonald's. She did not like that. 2 weeks later, Denise called me to ask if I would consider the idea of giving Haley a more appropriate car. When I asked where that came from, she admitted it was Shane pushing for it. She is almost 18. She deserves something nicer. Shane is welcome to buy her a BMW whenever he wants. Oh wait, does he know how much it costs? You know Shane is not her father. He should not have. Exactly. So stop asking me to finance your husband's promises. That was the last time Haley and I spoke before the TikTok video. It was a Tuesday. I came home after a rough day at work. Our main server had crashed, and I spent 12 hours fixing it. I was on my couch with a drink scrolling through my phone to decompress when a colleague sent me a link. Dude, isn't that your daughter? It was a TikTok video titled Rate My Parents. Stepdad 10 out of 10, bio dad 1 out of 10 with already 25,000 views and climbing. My stomach turned. I clicked and saw my daughter standing in what I recognized as the McMansion kitchen explaining to her followers why Shane is basically God's gift to fatherhood and why I am a complete failure. According to Princess Haley, Shane buys her literally everything she wants. Shane takes her to incredible places and takes an interest in her passions. Shane comes to her cheerleading competitions and supports her dreams. Shane understands her and treats her like an adult. Me? Apparently, I am the absentee dad who only sees her twice a month, who never buys anything nice, who does not understand her generation, and who is just a loser who complains about everything. She even said I was broke and bitter and that she was so grateful Shane stepped up where her real father had failed. But the worst part is this. She said Shane had confided in her that some men were simply not cut out to be fathers, and that she was lucky to have found a real role model who shows her what success looks like. The kicker was that she was wearing a $200 Lululemon outfit I had bought her last month, recording the video with an iPhone 13 that is on my plan, and posing in front of Shane's BMW in the driveway. The comments were atrocious. Kids from her school called me a deadbeat dad, saying Haley was so lucky to have Shane, and suggesting I should just disappear since Shane was clearly the better father. Several comments said some men were not cut out to be fathers. A comment with 500 likes said, "Your bio dad looks like a loser who can't handle having been replaced by a real man." I sat there for 10 minutes watching the view count climb. The video was spreading through her school like wildfire, shared in group chats, seen by parents, and probably by teachers too. And then I did something that seemed perfect in the moment. I commented, "Interesting perspective, sweetie. Glad Shane takes such good care of you with all that money from his sales. By the way, whose name is the Honda registered to again?" Then I added a thumbs up emoji. This comment gathered 800 likes in a few hours. Several parents from her school saw it. People started asking questions. Wait, is that the bio dad who saw this? That's awkward. Sir, do you want to give your side? Wednesday morning at 6:47, my phone rang. Haley called me from school, panicked about my comment, and saying people were asking her weird questions. Dad, why did you comment on my video? People are being weird with me. I was only confirming your assessment. Shane really looks like an incredible provider. It was just a funny video for my followers. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Hurt my feelings? I am proud that you are finally honest about our relationship. Transparency is important in family dynamics. She tried to backtrack, but the damage was done. Kids at her school were starting to ask awkward questions about who paid for what. I hung up and called in sick to work. It was time to do some research. The guys from work were already sending me supportive messages. My buddy Gavin, the one who sent me the video, had shared it in our group, and these blue-collar dads were furious. That little ungrateful kid came from Luis, our welder. Kids these days don't know what real work is, said Noah in maintenance. These guys knew what it meant to provide for a family, and they were ready to go to war for me. First stop, my bank's website. I pulled up all the payments I had made for Haley this past year. Child support, car payments, insurance, phone bill, extra transfers to Denise for Haley's expenses. Total, $23,400. Next, I called my financial advisor to ask about Haley's college fund. $89,147 as of yesterday. 17 years of monthly contributions of $300 plus investment growth. Since it was a UTMA account, I was the custodian with full legal control until she turned 21. That is where I made the smartest financial decision of my adult life. I liquidated this fund and redistributed the money. $35,000 went directly into my account. This was the money I should have saved for myself all these years instead of funding the future of an ungrateful kid. Another $15,000 went into essential house repairs, a new roof, AC maintenance, and foundation work that I had been putting off for too long. The remaining $39,000 got me a brand new F-150, all options included, something I had never been able to afford. It was not emotional spending. It was a practical reallocation of resources. I had sacrificed my own financial future for someone who just called me a useless father in public. It was time to invest in myself. While I was at it, I called Honda Financial to ask about the payoff balance of Haley's car, $12,800. I could pay it off immediately and keep the title. Finally, I contacted my phone carrier to check her line. It was easy to transfer it to a new account that someone would have to pay for herself. But I was not finished. I needed to understand what kind of provider Shane really was. I spent the afternoon doing what a good businessman does, meticulous research using public records. LinkedIn showed Shane's work history had interesting gaps. His current position in the pool company was a simple salesman, not a senior executive as he claimed. A quick search in corporate public records showed the company had laid off half its sales staff in late 2023. Property records for the McMansion showed it was a rental, not owned property. As for the BMW, a VIN search in public records showed it was a lease with Bank of America. And everyone knows a lease like that costs a fortune. The best part? I found a Facebook post from Shane 6 months ago asking if anyone knew of sales opportunities because the pool sector was tough. Talk about successful energy. Thursday, I took another sick day and went to my brother Trevor's house. Trevor is a contractor, divorced, no kids, and he always thought I let Denise and Haley walk all over me. He was more than happy to help me with my project. We spent the morning combing through my financial records like two forensic accountants. Every receipt, every bank statement, every bill linked to Haley. The Honda CR-V, $18,500 paid in cash. Her iPhone 13, monthly payments plus $800 at purchase. Her auto insurance, $180 a month. Her college fund, almost $90,000 in 17 years. Her designer clothes, $2,400 in just 6 months. Even her cheerleading fees, $1,800 this year. Trevor helped me create an Excel spreadsheet. Total amount spent on Haley these last 12 months, $31,200. And that is without counting the college fund. You're the household provider? Trevor said, looking at the numbers. That guy Shane lives on your daughter's child support while pretending to be the one financing everything. That is when I understood. Shane was bragging about a lifestyle I had financed while Haley called me a deadbeat dad on the internet. Thursday night, I called Haley and told her I had thought about her video. She tried to minimize it, saying some classmates were questioning her and it was becoming awkward. I explained that since Shane was such a good provider, he had to fully assume that role. Starting with the car he had supposedly given her since it was her gift. I would have to take back the one I had bought. Dad, you bought my car. Haley, who do you think paid for it? But Shane said he helped with most of it. Helped how exactly? By watching me sign the check. Silence. I could almost hear her mental gears turning. I told her I would come Saturday to pick up my car. Shane just had to buy her a new one himself. You can't just take my car. It's my car. Haley, my name is on the title, my money paid for it. Shane can buy a Tesla if he is so generous. That is insane. How am I going to go to school? Shane can pay for a new one with all that success money. Friday morning, Denise called me furious. The usual screaming that I was abandoning my daughter, that I was petty, that I was destroying Haley's senior year. You can't ruin her life just because of a stupid video. And Shane, Where is he going to get the $18,500 to replace the car in his super pool commission fund? That is not the point. She is your daughter. And she just told her whole school that Shane provides everything. Let him prove it. I let her scream for 3 minutes before asking where Shane was going to get the money to replace the car. Silence. Denise finally admitted that Shane was having a bad quarter at work. I told her that when she claimed he provided everything, in reality, it meant he provided nothing. Then I dropped the bomb about the college fund. The $90,000 I had liquidated this week were now in my retirement and home repairs I was delaying. Oh, and a new pickup. What? You did what? You do not have the right. That is Haley's money. How can you destroy her future like that? Her future? Your daughter just told her school I am a useless father while wearing clothes I bought. You are vindictive and cruel. Vindictive? I am just letting Shane play his role as father. Is that not what he wanted? Denise then confirmed what I already knew. Shane had predicted I would react this way because I could not handle not being indispensable anymore. He told her I used money to control people and that I would hurt Haley financially out of jealousy. I mentioned LinkedIn, the holes in Shane's resume, and the public records showing their house was rented. Immediate silence. How do you know that? Because unlike Shane, I do my research before making financial decisions. Crazy concept. Saturday morning, Trevor came with me to pick up the car. We showed up in front of the McMansion with his truck and a trailer. Haley came out looking like someone just told her Santa Claus did not exist. Shane was there too, trying to look intimidating in his polo and beige pants. This scrawny salesman, trying to play alpha male in front of me, was almost cute. Haley was begging me not to take back her car. Shane stepped forward saying it was a matter between me and Haley, that I should not punish her just because I was upset about a video. Listen, I am not her biological father. I should not have. But you promised her a BMW if it were not for me controlling everything. No, here is your chance. No more Honda in the way. It is not. It is not a question of money. Oh yes, it is totally a question of money, Shane. The money I earn versus the money you pretend to have. Speaking of which, how does it work? The pool business right now. Shane's face went pale. Haley looked lost, asking me how she was supposed to go to school, to work, to cheerleading practice. I replied that it was Shane's problem to fix. That is insane. You cannot destroy a kid's life just because you are jealous. Jealous of what, Shane? Your job as a simple salesman? Your rented house? The BMW that was repossessed last month? Yeah, public records are fun. I don't know what you think you know. I know you play the fake provider with my money, while teaching my daughter that I am useless. Game over, little salesman. Shane's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Haley stared at him, waiting for him to deny it, but he could not. I loaded her car onto the trailer while she filmed me with her phone, posting Instagram stories about her toxic dad taking back her car over a harmless video. But here is the problem. For over a year, Haley had been posting about her car, always thanking Shane for spoiling her, for being the best stepdad. So her followers knew Shane was supposed to have paid for everything. By Saturday night, students from her high school started asking questions in the comments. If Shane bought the car, why could the bio dad take it back? Where was Shane to stop this? Why didn't Shane have the title to the vehicle? Sunday morning, a classmate of Haley's, whose mother works at the bank where Denise has her accounts, started connecting the dots. He posted a comment explaining that the BMW in Haley's videos was actually a lease and that the McMansion was a rental, not owned. But the real blow came from the parents. Several mothers from Haley's cheerleading team had seen both the first video and my comment. These women talk among themselves. PTA meetings, sideline discussions, carpool group texts. The news circulated fast in the parental network about Haley's video and what it revealed about their family dynamic. Monday at school was hard for Haley. Students were not mean, but they asked awkward questions she could not answer. Teachers had clearly heard about the video. The cheerleading coach summoned her to discuss appropriate representation on social media. Her phone did not stop vibrating all Sunday evening. Some parents from Haley's high school contacted me. Apparently, their kids had told them about the drama, and they wanted to tell me they thought Haley was wrong. A few colleagues who had seen the video bought me drinks, calling Haley ungrateful. Even better, some dads from work shared similar stories where their kids had been turned against them by stepdads who contributed nothing but posed as heroes. Monday night, she called me in tears saying everything was going wrong at school. Everyone was asking questions about the car, the money, and the fact Shane was broke. Some students were calling her spoiled, rotten, and fake. She begged me to fix the situation. She would take down the video, post an apology, tell everyone I was a good dad. Maybe I exaggerated some things. Exaggerated? You call me a loser while wearing clothes I paid for. I know, but we cannot fix this. I will do whatever you want. When she asked to get her car and the college fund back, I dropped the bomb. I told her, "You want your car back? You want that money? You are going to make another video. Same platform, same audience. But this time, you tell the truth about who really pays for your life." She said it was humiliating and that everyone was going to take her for a spoiled brat. I replied that everyone already thought so. The only question was whether she wanted to fix it or lose everything I had ever given her. Then I delivered the final blow. The college fund was gone. You should have thought about your future before deciding I was useless. Actions have consequences. She hung up crying. Week 1, the apology tour. Tuesday night, Haley posted the follow-up video, The Truth About My Dad and My Lies. She explained that her bio dad paid substantial child support, had bought her car with cash, paid her phone bill, her insurance, and had saved for her education for 17 years. She admitted that Shane was a nice stepdad but struggling at work and that he never claimed to pay for everything, that she had lied in the first video for views, and that she ended up destroying relationships that mattered to her. Above all, she apologized to me. She said I had been a good father who always provided for her needs, even when she did not appreciate it, and that she was wrong to call me a loser. The comments on this video were different. There was a lot of respect for owning up, like, "Your dad seems like a good man," but also quite a few "too little too late," and "actions have consequences." What Haley did not know is that several parents from her school had already seen both videos and formed their own opinion. The damage to her reputation was deeper than she realized. Wednesday night, she called me back crying. "Dad, can I get my car back? And maybe we can talk about the college money again." Apologies do not fix everything, Haley. I know, but I posted the apology video like you wanted. You posted it because you had consequences to manage, not because you were sincere. Silence. Then what do you want me to do? You want your car? You are going to find a job and pay me monthly installments. $50 a week until the $12,800 are repaid. You miss a payment, the car is gone for good. But that is all my work money. Welcome to the real world, princess. But how am I going to be able to save? Not my problem. And Shane, he was not really there anymore. He said the situation was too stressful and he needed space. When things got complicated, he disappeared. Nothing surprising. Strange, right? Your super stepdad disappears right when real responsibilities need to be taken. As if by chance, he was never solid. But Dad, please. I am not finished. You are also going to spend every weekend with me for the next 6 months. No excuses, no cheerleading, no friends. You want to fix things? Then we will do it correctly. She sobbed that it was not fair. I told her what would have been fair was appreciating her father instead of humiliating him for a few likes. Week 2. Thursday morning, Denise called me completely desperate. "Please, think of Haley's future. We tried to get a college loan, but we were denied. And Shane's magic money, where is it all? Shane is going through some stuff right now." What stuff? In fact, stuff meant his entire life was collapsing. Shane's BMW was repossessed Tuesday morning right in the McMansion driveway. The neighbors saw everything. The pool company fired him after a new wave of cuts in the sales team, and the landlord sent them an eviction notice for unpaid rent. By Friday, Shane had completely disappeared. Denise posted a pathetic status on Facebook talking about going through hard times and focusing on family. People in the comments asked where her provider husband had gone and why she was suddenly talking about financial stress. The best part? Some parents of Haley's classmates commented on the post asking if Shane was indeed the stepdad from the TikTok video, supposed to finance everything. Denise deleted the post in less than an hour. Week 3. Haley started her senior year taking the bus. The same girl who posted Instagram stories from her car was now walking to the bus stop at 6:30 a.m. Her friends started asking questions she could not answer. Social media attention decreased, but the damage at school was permanent. Kids started calling her TikTok to mock her. Her cheerleading coach had to have a conversation with her about how to properly represent the team online. Meanwhile, I was driving my brand new F-150 paid for with her college savings. Fully loaded, leather seats, the works. Every time I picked her up for our mandatory weekends, she looked at it like it was a slap in the face. This truck cost me more than my college fund, right? No, I also invested in my retirement and redid my roof. You know, investing in yourself feels good. So, you really spent all my money for college. It was my money that I was putting aside for you. Past tense. She stood there, silent, probably calculating how much those words cost me. Month 4. Haley found a job at Target. 20 hours a week at $12 an hour. After taxes, she brought home maybe $190 a week. $50 had to go to me for the car payment, which left her $140 for gas, insurance, and all the teen crap she wanted. The first weekend she came to my place, she was different, quieter. She sat on the couch and watched a movie with me instead of being glued to her phone. It sucks, Dad. What? Working all the time and never having money. I never realized how expensive everything is. Now you know what it means to provide. Feels weird when it is your money, right? I did not push it. I just nodded and continued watching the movie. Week 6, she missed a payment. I called her right away. Haley, where's my $50? Dad, I had to buy new work shoes and gas cost more this week. Can't I just give you more next week? No, a deal is a deal. I really meant it. The deal was $50 every week without exception. She managed to borrow money from Denise and paid 2 days late, but I still counted it as a missed payment. Month 5. Denise and Haley had to leave the McMansion. It turned out Shane was subletting from someone who was also behind on rent. A whole house of cards that collapsed. They moved into a 2-bedroom in a crappy neighborhood. Haley went from a 4,000 square foot house with a pool to a shared bathroom with her mother. Shane resurfaced briefly to pick up his stuff, but he and Denise were done. She filed for divorce in November. Apparently, she discovered he was using her credit cards to cover his expenses and had maxed everything out. Her credit was destroyed. The final blow, Shane was cheating on Denise with his ex-wife from the beginning, using Denise's money to take another woman out while playing the model stepdad with Haley. When Denise found out, she threw his stuff on the lawn in trash bags. Haley told me about it during one of our weekends. Mom is really stressed about money. Yeah, well, turns out Shane wasn't the guy you thought. I feel bad for her. Feel bad for yourself, Haley. She did not have anything to answer. For months later, at Christmas, something changed. Haley had made all her car payments religiously since the first miss. She also came to our weekends without attitude, really participating in conversations. On Christmas morning, she gave me a gift, a mug that said, "World's hardest working dad," with a note inside. Dad, I know I really messed up. I know you probably must hate me right now, but I want you to know that I am starting to understand what you did for me all these years. I am sorry it took me so long to see it. I won't lie, it hit me right in the heart. But I was not going to go soft just yet. Actions, Haley, not words. I know. I am trying to show you. Yeah, keep trying. March. She had already paid me back about $1,300 of the car loan. She had also kept all our weekends, even when her friends had parties. One Saturday, we were tinkering in my garage. I was showing her the basics of auto maintenance, like when she was little. Dad, can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why didn't you just let the college money go instead of punishing me like this? Because words mean nothing. Haley, you had to understand that your actions have real consequences. But my future? You humiliated me publicly. You had to feel what that choice really cost you. She stayed silent a moment. Do you think if I keep paying you back and coming here, do you think we can fix things? We are already fixing them. The question is, are you doing it because you want your old life back, or because you really understand what you lost? I think I am starting to understand. Good, keep understanding. Month 8. Today, Haley has been working hard for 8 months now. She has already paid me back almost $2,000 for the car. More importantly, our relationship is becoming real again. She does not come to my place anymore because she is forced to. She comes because she wants to. Last weekend, she brought me her acceptance letters for her first semester. Community college, but she is paying for it herself with a combination of scholarships, loans, and her salary from Target. I am not asking you to pay anything. Dad, I just wanted you to see I am serious. I am proud of you. Maybe sophomore year. If you prove to me you can handle this, we can talk about it again. I looked at my daughter, really looked. The spoiled teen who had made that TikTok video had disappeared. The young girl in front of me had blisters on her hands from working, dark circles from studying after her shifts, and a humility I had not seen since she was a child. We'll see, kiddo. Keep proving it to me. I will. I promise you. Promises mean nothing. Actions count. Then, watch my actions. She smiled. The real smile I remembered, the one from when she was 7, when she was proud to help Dad fix something in the garage. As for Denise and Shane, Denise works 2 jobs now, stuck in that small apartment with ruined credit and a messy divorce. Shane completely disappeared. Last I heard, he was living with his parents in another state, selling used cars or something. Haley made mistakes by choice. Now, she is learning what all those choices really cost her. And slowly, very slowly, she is earning back her place as my daughter. Comment. Real love isn't about expensive gifts or pretending everything is perfect just to keep the peace. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do for the people we care about is let them face the consequences of their own choices. It's heartbreaking when our sacrifices go unnoticed, but true self-respect means refusing to let anyone treat you like an option while using you as a resource. We live in a world that often values a shiny exterior over the hard work happening behind the scenes. Setting a firm boundary might make you the villain in someone else's story for a while, but it's also the only way to build a relationship grounded in genuine respect. Growth often comes from uncomfortable moments, when we have to earn back what we lost through our own actions. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm, especially when they don't appreciate the heat. Focus on building a life with substance and integrity, because the truth always finds a way to surface in the end. Choose peace over drama, and remember that it's never too late to start rebuilding on a solid foundation. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.